What's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block's strongest man, and tonight I have a 2-for-1, two great guests for you, Hailee Manipole and Matt McDougal.
Ciao, homie.
Welcome back to My Block's Strongest Man, where we bring strongman into the mainstream by discussing all of the latest strongman events in the greatest analytic detail that you'll find anywhere on YouTube. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to this channel. Make sure to comment below whether you agree or disagree with my videos. I love the engagement, and I respond to every single comment. Now on to today's topic. So this is for both of you also. What would you say is the thing you like the most about the sport?
Definitely for me, it's definitely the people. Like I've met the best, I've only been around strongman for, a year, and I've met some of the best people I've known in my life, obviously this one, and then, just, I have so many friends, and, it's not like if you've never been to a powerlifting show, everyone's got their headphones and they've, they hate each other, and there's so much competition. Like, you're at a strongman show and you're competing, but you're instantly comrades. It's just like I've never been around another sport that has the same kind of, and it's so cool. Another really cool thing about strongman is how it's still a small enough community that I have direct conversation with pro strong women like all the time, and it's cool. They're not inaccessible, and the people at the very top of the sport are just as accessible most of the time as as we are to each other. So that's a really cool thing about strongman too. And people aren't, I don't know, I guess their knowledge isn't secret and precious, and then everybody's willing to help and give a tip or, sure, come train with me or whatever. So that's my favorite thing about strongman for sure, is the people in the community. It's just really, it's really cool and uncommon.
Yeah, I mean, those kind of like three facets that you touched on, I think are all really insightful and great answers. I've noticed the same thing from a fan's perspective, like, look how willing both of you were to talk to me, and, who am I, right? So same thing, like you mentioned with the pros, like, Jessica Fifth and then Corey Butler spoke to me the first time I asked, and it's other sports just don't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. The cool thing about strongman, to touch on what she was saying, is it almost feels the same as like being someone that rides motorcycles. It's not anything about the fact that you're both cool or you're both wearing the same leather jacket. It's that you're both strapped to a death machine and you're both the same type of crazy, So,
right.
When you see someone in strongman, it's like, oh, you're willing to, bleed all over the place to get another pound on your PR. So am I, And that's a really cool dynamic where, it doesn't matter what skin color you are, what nationality you are. If you can even speak the same language, you go to one of these shows and you can just nod at each other and become good friends with someone because you know that they have the same ethic, the same work as you. For me, the thing that I like most about strongman is that it's not purely a sport of strength. It's not powerlifting. It's not purely a sport of technique. It's not throwing or Olympic lifting. It is entirely a sport of tactics, right? It's knowing where you can give up points. It's knowing where you can get more points, and it's a great balancing act of strategy, because you can hear Brian Shaw talk about this a lot. Even if you could deadlift 100 pounds more, if it only takes 5 pounds more to beat the guy, then why would you do that? If you if you can take third doing something that's 90% or second doing 100, if you do 100%, you're going to zero the next event because you feel like shit. So, it's this balancing act of what can I do to win? Because it's not about individual records on events. It's about titles.
Right. Yeah, I think Eddie Hall famously talks about that as well. Like with the infamous Viking press, he asked before he did it, like, how many do I need? And that's what he did. It's
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are guys that can go all day with a Husafell farmer's carries, but as soon as they get into first place, they drop it because why bother?
right.
It's not about the event win. It's not about the event record. It's about the overall standings. And for me, that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, unless you get into special situations like when they were filming Strongest Man in History and Nick Best had to prove he could carry a stone further than all the young guys, then
yeah. Well, and that does happen. And I think that happens more in the gym and training than it happens at shows.
Yeah.
There have been plenty of times where it's like, well, I bet I can carry that rock farther than you, or or anything like that. So
yeah, for sure. So I mean, we've spent all this time talking about strongman. What hobbies do either of you have outside of strongman? I guess Hailee, for you would be equestrian-based stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually like I'm the woman of a million hobbies. So I have the horses, and I have chickens. I am an artist, so most of my work is portraiture. But I'm also a metalsmith and a jeweler. So I minored in craft and material studies in college. So yeah, that. What else do I do?
Yeah, that and sports.
That and sports, running. So that's pretty much the bulk of it. Art is interesting because it's been a hobby, but now it's a profession. So it's interesting because it's still side projects and stuff that I enjoy doing in different mediums. But that's pretty much just does sports.
Yeah, I was going to say, for me, it's all a hobby until you get paid for it, right? So at this point, strongman's a hobby as much as Highland games or throwing or any of it is for me. I'm hopeful that I'll be able to make it to a point where I'm able to support some of my living off of athletics. But I do coach, and I coach track and field, and I love throwing. So I love the Highland games. I love track and field. I'll still go and compete in track and field meets as an unattached athlete. I'm not very good at it anymore. There are some things that I'm still, I'm a much better shot putter than I'm a discus thrower, but I like doing them, so I still do them. I like mod wrestling. I'm probably going to end up doing the North American Championship here in May, I think is when that is. But for me, it's most of my time is spent in the gym or figuring out what I can do outside of the gym to make myself better in the gym.
Okay. So for both of you, what advice would you have for somebody who's considering getting into strongman for the first time?
Just find a gym and go, because there's going to be people there willing to help you and show you, and it's fun. And there's probably going to be an event that you're good at because there's so many of them. So
yeah. There are two things that I would say, and I think they probably have equal value. The first one is you don't have to be heavy to be a strongman, right? You see guys on TV that are 450 pounds and 6'9", and that's unless you're from Iceland or very specific areas, you're not going to be that, And so even for me at 6'5", 350, I'm not a big guy when it comes to nationals, when it comes to these bigger shows. I'm average, if not small. And it doesn't mean anything. I mean, you don't have to be tall. There are events that'll make that height's an advantage, and there are events where height's really a disadvantage. Same thing with the weight. I've done as well as I've done in strongman because even though I'm heavy, I'm faster than the guy that weighs 50 pounds more than me. So you don't have to be heavy. There's no incentive to getting fat. Fat guys don't do well. So that'd be the first thing. And the second one is you can't get wrapped up in it too seriously, even if you are trying to go pro, because you're not getting paid, right? The most important thing for anyone getting into powerlifting, strongman, Olympic lifting is understanding that you're not going to make money. And even when you go pro, you're going to make enough money to not be starving, but you're going to be in poverty. Like, it's not the end all to be all. And you have to accept there's no money in it. You're probably, if you do it long enough, you're going to get hurt. And you just have to have fun. If you like something, you should do it, even if you're not good at it, right? I really enjoy playing chess with my brother. My brother is one of the smartest people on the planet. He's a chemistry major. He's been published in science. I don't know the art of the magazines. I'm a jock, but the guy's a published chemist and mathematician, and he kicks my ass in chess. But I like doing it, so I do it with him. I still play video games with him, even though I'm not good at it. You just have to know that while you could make money and you could make it, if you're not having fun doing it, then it's not something you should be doing.
Fair enough. That's very insightful. That's where I am with YouTube right now. I do it because I love it.
Right. And you can keep doing it. And one day, you could have 100,000 subscribers or 1 million, and we all start somewhere. There's no shame being where you are. I mean, I was never the strongest kid growing up, but I kept with it, and it's panned out pretty well so far. And if it happens for me that I make it pro, or if it happens for you that, you are able to make a living off of YouTube, that's awesome. But it'd be even cooler if you had fun doing it.
Yeah, which I'm having tons of fun doing it. So I think that's a great lesson for children as well.
For sure.
Yeah. So what's we touched on upcoming events. Anything aside from that you two would consider like exciting in your future on your horizon?
Well, I am leaving on Monday after this show to, I'll be in Gulfport, Mississippi for 6 weeks for work. So I'll be going with my sister to braid at a big horse show circuit that's down there. So I will get to find a new gym and hopefully new friends for 6 weeks, which is exciting to me. So, I'll be hopefully find a cool new gym or two. So that's what's next. And then when I get back, I have about 3 weeks or so before our next show in Delaware.
Yep. Cool. Only thing exciting, track season is about to start in a week. So that's exciting. Until we know the event for the Arnolds or for Nationals, I'm just kind of training and hanging out. So, I mean, if there's anyone listening that has some heavy stones that want to lift with me, that's great.
Yeah, I'll pass the word around for sure.
Yeah, that's mostly it. Just training and working.
Cool. So just to kind of wrap it up, I really appreciate all the time that you've both spent with me. I've learned a ton and really had a great time. Take this moment now to kind of promote anything you'd like to, sponsorships, anything that you, how to follow you and so forth.
So I don't have any sponsorships.
Anyone's more than welcome to reach out.
Right. But you can follow me on Instagram. My handle is HailHail11.
Sounds right.
And then I also have my business page on Instagram is HM Portraits, which would be my artwork, or hmanipole.com. If anyone, I mostly draw I draw a lot of dogs. So if you love your dog and want a portrait, then I am your woman. But I can draw anything provided a good reference photo. So I'm always happy to take more work in that area.
Yep.
Awesome.
For me, it's my Instagram is Big McDougal. It's probably easier to find me on Facebook. I'm in the Starting Strongman group page, and I comment a lot on people. So it's pretty easy to find me. I'm around. As far as sponsorship or any help there, I have nothing and I'm poor. So
you have me.
Yes, I don't have nothing. I have everything and I'm poor. So
let's find someone to help grow together. Go Hard Labs, you guys listening?
Right.
Sure.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, both of you, for a great evening, great chat. Like I said, I learned a bunch, had a great time, and maybe we connect again after your next competition.
Sure. For sure. We'll
awesome. All right, great. Have a nice evening.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So if you like this video and haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing using that button right there. And also stay tuned for some other videos that you might love blooping up right there. This one is the one that YouTube thinks that you will like the best, and this one is the one that I think you will like the best. As always, share this with everyone, and until next time, ciao, homie.